Good morning, Jen.
Howdy.
Good morning.
You hear me? All right, let me get some music going. What time are we letting people in?
Yesterday, well, we did about 3 minutes before, so
All right.
9:57, but what do you think?
I don't know. Do we have anything to knock out like in the next 5?
I think I feel good to go. What about you?
Dude, my nerves are shot right now.
I know.
Right now, is it on the second step screen?
Hang on, I'm pasting one of the links so that I could have it ready to put in the chat. Let me, there we go. On the screen, I see the slide deck, and right, it's the SEL classroom.
Perfect.
When I first saw this product, I thought it looked kind of crazy.
These freaking ads, man.
Did you do the poll
I did.
that's already added?
Let me see.
Because I don't, let me see.
I understand what the benefits would be, but I had seen some before and after pictures on the website.
This is gonna be a pain.
Yeah, as the co-host, I don't see the poll. So you're, for Christy, for some reason, it let her.
Let me see.
Oh wait, where's the view options? Let me see. No, I don't see the poll. I just see annotate.
On yours?
Mm-hmm.
If I go make host.
Okay, I'm gonna start marking these people while they're in the waiting room.
Okay.
So because I don't have the setting, you may have to just click the, what does the button say at the bottom?
I just made you host. Did it change your setting?
Let's see. No, where is it?
Oh, you know why? Because I think I'm on it right now.
Oh, because you have to save it.
Wait, how familiar are you with second step? Extremely. What else?
What do we say? Comfortable, somewhat comfortable, and novice. Or expert. Put expert at the top. Somewhat comfortable and novice.
If now does it let you?
Let me see. Yes, now I see it. Oh, you did ask 2 questions. So we could just do that at the beginning then. Just both questions. That'll be good.
Okay.
And so I'll be able to launch it after we make our introductions.
Okay. Ridiculous. I might just have to play the music from my phone.
Yeah, I had to do that yesterday too. I had a speaker on and then I had to turn it off. So wait, why does it say 16 people are waiting, but I only see 3? Oh, that's why. I see it now. Never mind, I figured it out. Okay, Martin, what's your last name? I don't even see a Martin on here. See, this is. And then did you see we're supposed to let in principals and stuff whenever they want?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Can you hear that?
A little bit. It's not loud enough.
How's that?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start admitting people, okay?
All right.
I'm gonna click present mode.
Good morning. Good morning, Brianna. Good morning, Mattia.
Morning, how are you?
You doing well? How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. As you guys are coming in, there's going to be an annotation tool. And when you do so, or when you click on it, it's going to say stamp. Go ahead and select anyone, and then you can mark it on the screen. And we'll be able to see it on our end.
Can you say that again? Because you had cut out a little bit.
I'm sorry. Using the Zoom application, there's going to be an annotation tool. Once you click that, you're going to have an option that says stamp, and it'll be the fourth one over. You could select any stamp and then mark where it is you would be. Or could be if you could. Would be if you could. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning.
Jamie, do you know what our count is for this session?
46.
46. Do you think once we get around 40, we should start? Give it till about 10:05?
I'm working on getting everybody into the session. So once I get everybody in, I'll let you know. There's still, let's see, 15 people. So I'm getting all the attendance done right now.
Perfect. Thank you.
People could just mark on the map where they would prefer to be today and dream a little bit.
Idaho. Cool.
Oh, who put Idaho? Nice.
Me, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Sagal, that area, that upper area is so beautiful.
Nice. I've been to Meridian and Boise.
Yeah, see, no, I don't want to go down there.
Why is that?
I don't know, I visited Coeur d'Alene every summer for a friend that lived there. Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Sagal, about 75 miles south of the Canada border, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, wow. Now I want to go there. Who marked Texas?
Oops, I'm still stamping, my bad.
Okay.
Stamp it up.
There, well, I actually stamped on the Zoom call.
Good morning, Roxy. I'll turn it up for you. How's that? Looks like we're all going to Hawaii.
Yes. That's where I want to be. As you can see with my background.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Jamie. Nice to see your face.
You too. Oh, look, we both want to be at the beach.
Yes,
Oh, my Tia too.
always.
Florida. Nevada. Is that Las Vegas right there?
Well, that's what I was trying to put, but I'm not really sure where Las Vegas is on that in the state because I'm not very good with maps. But yeah, that's where I would like to be, just to forget about everything and have some senseless fun.
Very cool. Got 2 for Texas. Colorado. You know, I always see pictures and then usually during the winter time, and that's one place I've always wanted to go to, still have never been. Someone wants to be in the ocean, don't blame you. The Bahamas. Let's plan a trip.
Okay.
Looks like we're full, we're almost at capacity.
Yes. I'll just keep monitoring to see if a couple people show up too, but I think we're good to start.
All right, good morning, Ben.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. All right, my name's Jen Pate. I am with Sierra Middle School, and our co-host today is...
I'm Jamie Abraham. I'm also from Sierra Middle School. I've been there for 9 years now. I'm the restorative specialist. I've taught a little bit of everything at Sierra, 6th through 8th grade. So, and then I've been on the SEL team for, this is the, I want to say the 4th year.
Yeah, and I teach 8th grade English. I've dabbled into math and PE just a little bit, but going into my 5th year, and this is my 2nd year doing SEL. So, oh, please work for me. My annotation tool's still on. Oh, do I erase that?
Yes, here, let me see if I can.
All right, so today we are going to be going over the SEL classroom and the 2nd step program. And the 2nd step program is what we use to intentionally teach SEL to address those situational instances and those topics that can sometimes be a little uncomfortable. But what's really cool about the program is it maps it out for you. And once we dive into it just a little bit more, you'll see how the program is structured and how they plan out their units when we do use it. Jamie, did you want to add anything?
Just one thing, I wanted to make it clear that we're here to show an example of how you can incorporate the 2nd step program within your classroom. We're not going to dive into too many details on how to use the program as far as the settings, but we're going to model how you can implement it in a virtual setting. So just to make that clear. But I think that you did a good job, Jen. Thank you.
Uh-oh. All right, so before we dive into the content of 2nd step and SEL, we're going to go ahead and listen to what Mark has to say as we dive into this coming school year. Uh-oh. Just kidding.
Good morning and welcome to BCSD Summer Virtual Institute. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. This is not the environment that we had hoped to bring our staff and students back into, but unfortunately we are going to enter the school year in a virtual nature. This morning you are joining us to learn more about the instructional program initiatives that we're going to prioritize this year across our school district. First and foremost, the importance of social emotional learning. This morning you are going to work with and learn from many of our experts across our SEL topics. And I encourage you to embrace the conversations, lean on each other and learn from each other as we work to build community across our classrooms through a computer. Relationships are foundational to our work as educators. And in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, what our kids are going to remember most about this year is the fact that coronavirus continues, but they're going to remember how we treated them and how we supported them. And so I want to encourage all of us as we venture into our learning this week to be willing to understand the importance of SEL, be willing to leverage these strategies and tools in our classroom instruction. And when we get to our first day of instruction and the next 179 days of instruction, that we embrace these ideas, that we make time for them in our instructional day, that we understand the importance that yes, academics, reading, writing, and mathematics are critical for students, but equally critical is the importance of relationships and listening to our students, being empathetic for our students and with our students. So thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate all of you. I look forward to learning with you this week and over the next several weeks. I look forward to a successful school year. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. All right, and then our norms for this session. Jamie, you want to go ahead?
Before we get to the norms, we wanted to gauge who's in the room. So we have a poll for you. It'll be 2 questions. The first one, let me see if I can get it pulled up real quick. Here we go. I'm about to launch it. So the first question is who's in the room? So we have the options of teacher, school site administration, school site support staff, district administration, or district support staff. And then the second question is how familiar are you right now with the second step program? Are you an expert? Are you comfortable? Are you somewhat comfortable, or are you novice? So I'm about to launch the poll. If you can just click on the responses. There we go. Sitting on 3 responses. And it looks like we have teachers. We have a couple of experts on second step. Awesome.
La fiesta ya comenzó, mucha gente ya llegó. Vamos a hacerla contento, grupo contenta. Los sones de actualidad para que puedan gozar. Baila, baila.
Learners for the second step program.
Esta rumba tiene un toque que si da felicidad, alegría es lo primero.
Share the results with everybody.
Bailen, bailen, baila.
Sometimes you can see the results. I'm nodding, so I'm there. So we have some people that are, a couple people that are experts. So if you have anything to share with us throughout, that would be helpful. We have some people that are comfortable with the program, about, let's see, almost 40%. And then about half are novice. So that's good. We'll be learning together, and mostly teachers. Thank you for your participation. This is another way that you can engage your students too, not only with SEL, but also with academics. If you're wanting to know their background knowledge on something, or even a quick assessment after you have a lesson. So it's one example to engage them online. Okay. So now we'll move into the norms for today. The first thing I want to say is that this session is being recorded for convenience and training purposes. This is a safe space to learn, so feel free to ask questions, mostly in the chat box for now, but there are other features you can use, like the hand raising option and things like that. Let's maintain a growth mindset. So when we encounter, especially with technology, I will say that I'm learning with technology. I know a lot about SEL, but right now I'm, learning with technology. So I'll need some grace when it comes to implementing some of that as well as I'm learning. So, and then for attendance and discussion purposes, if you could display your first and last name the same way that it is on your email, whatever name is used through the district, because it helps for when we're taking attendance. And then participants will be muted upon entry. Use the chat feature to ask questions throughout the session. We welcome your questions, and we will be monitoring the chat box to make sure we address those. Some of the questions we may not have answers to, so we have a district parking lot that will be adding any questions that we're not able to answer today. And then at the end of the session, this is really important, we're going to complete an eval, an evaluation of our session, and then in order to get paid, there is a sign out form. So we will post those links the last 10 minutes of the session. Any questions about our norms? Awesome, we're good to go.
All right, and our purpose today, our learning intentions, thanks Jamie. We're gonna navigate the second step curriculum to build resilience among students, and we're gonna know we're successful when we can integrate the lessons in the second step curriculum with intention and high quality. Our second intention is articulate the key elements of social emotional learning in a student-centered classroom or virtual learning platform. And we're gonna know we are successful. I don't know why I struggle with that word. It's a lot of, anyway. Support students with intentional SEL strategies that integrate throughout the academic day. So what I do want to touch on is that even though SEL is going to be something in its own, once we do teach an SEL lesson, or if it's through second step or mindfulness, SEL doesn't stop like once that dedicated block is over. It's something that can continue throughout the day within your content area, whatever it might be. All right, and then we are going to be diving into a virtual circle here in just a second. The rules of a circle are exactly the same as if you were in the classroom in person. So be honest, listen, be attentive. You don't need to rehearse, and also we're gonna be considerate of time because we're gonna be going over some additional content. So for this feature, you are going to be typing into the chat box, and you're only going to be choosing one of these responses. So the first one reads, today I'm grateful for, my goal for today is, and lastly, how has the new normal impacted you the most? So remember, we're only selecting one, and go ahead and provide your response in the chat. Oh, and it appears some of us still have our annotation tool on. If you do exit out of that tool, you will be able to respond in the chat. Oh, that's really sweet, and CISO. Love that goal, Lo. You're in the right place for that. Yes, Lisa, the new normal is going to be posing new opportunities for growth. Angel, I do enjoy working from home also. Betty, you have a really pretty family. Oh, I love all of these. A lot of us are grateful for our family and friends. Cassandra, how is that Peloton bike for you? I want to put in the investment towards it, but I don't know. How long did it take for you to get it? Because I know there was a waiting list for it.
I'll just respond. Due to COVID, the wait time right now is like 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, I have a friend who ordered in June. The beginning of June, hers is coming in August, like August 4th or something. And I have a friend who ordered yesterday, and hers isn't coming till like the beginning of September. But I would say, like, I'm not like advertising Peloton, but I'll tell you, it's worth every penny. Like, it's worth the investment. I love the convenience. I'm already getting stronger. Like, it's good.
That's really neat. I like to take spin classes. I go to Montreal Henry's class, but I mean, right now you can't really do that. I'm really glad you enjoy the music, Roxy. Thank you for that. Mattia, what is what?
I think she's talking to me.
Oh, gotcha.
A lot of people are grateful for their health. Yes, that's for sure. And this is another way that we can engage and have a circle in a new way through technology, because everybody can see the responses at the same time. And as you practice, you start to see in the key words within people's responses, even though people are responding really quickly. So it's a great engaging way to have a circle in the virtual realm.
Yeah, that chat feature I think is really cool. Just having those class discussions and so on. Thanks for sharing, Jamie. Uh-oh. All right, core priorities.
Yeah, this is me. I was trying to monitor the attendance too. So our 4 core priorities are still the same. Priority 1 is a culture of collective efficacy. Priority 2, a culture of teaching and learning. Priority 3, a culture of student-centered schools. And priority 4, a culture of access and inclusion to ensure a multi-tiered system of supports for all learners. Where SEL fits into these priorities is predominantly with priority 3 and 4, student-centered schools and MTSS. However, the impact of SEL is in all 4 priorities, because if you incorporate SEL, it's going to impact your collective efficacy and also your teaching and learning in your classroom and outside the classroom. Anything you would add, Jen?
No, I think you touched on everything, and the fact that SEL does touch on all 4 core priorities. I'm gonna move on. this not working for me? All right, so we've talked a lot about second step, and we have quite a few people that are somewhat comfortable and are novices and so on. So before we actually dive in, we're gonna watch this brief video on what it is.
Children grow from the inside out, and our second step program helps them become their best selves. Rooted in research-based social emotional learning, our program helps foster a foundation of empathy. It helps children sort through complicated emotions, manage the strong feelings we all have, make sound decisions, and learn the art of focus. All with a program that's easy for teachers to use and helps them make a difference in kids' lives. We don't just help children become better students, we help them become better people so they can create a better world.
That last part of that video always gets me. Creating better people for a better world, because with a lot of things that are going on right now, this program allows for students to be able to cope and handle certain situations in a much more rational way without having those skills they would otherwise not have been taught. So the goal of SEL in schools is to promote social emotional skills, positive classroom behavior, and academic achievement, at the same time preventing conduct problems, aggressive behavior, and emotional distress. Now, I understand that as we are entering the school year on the digital platform, we are going to be facing some of those things that we do want to prevent. And whether it may be on the chat or on a video, there are going to be some instances where students will act in a certain way. And the goal of this program in SEL is to address that and redirect those behaviors so they are acting in a positive way. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Jamie?
Just one thing, something that I noticed in the spring before our summer started is that behaviors that we would typically see with our, well, really with all tiers, but tier 2 and 3 students that I was checking in with, it seemed that the majority of them were doing really well. However, our tier 1 that thrive in the traditional classroom setting, we're starting to show some behaviors because we're asking them to work really independently at home. And so you may start to see some shift in where you're seeing behaviors. And I just wanted to front load and let you know if that happens, we're all working through this and trying to grow in new ways. And so even our tier 1 students will be, they could potentially display some behaviors as well. I think that's all I have to add, but you want me to do this next one, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, so this graphic right here is BCSD's, the SEL competencies that were created by our SEL TAC team. And as you can see, there's the 4 core that go around our student-centered schools. Side by side, we put second steps visual graphic of the core areas that they focus on within the program. And so we want to take a moment and just look at the infographic and try to see where you see alignment between the two. We'd like to get a couple of people to give us some feedback. So we'll give you a few moments to absorb the infographic. And then you could use the hand raise option in the chat box so we can get a few feedback when you see some alignment within the two. Jen, will you play some music while people are absorbing, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And real quick, something I do want to add about the Second Step program. There was a team of 35 educators on the Teacher Advisory Committee. They went ahead and tried out different SEL programs and curriculum, and it was a unanimous decision. 100% of the teachers on that team did select the Second Step program. So it was teacher selected as opposed to anything else. The only thing about the music, I don't know what they're saying, so if it's inappropriate.
Let us know so we can forward the song.
Mrs. Barone.
Somebody raise a hand. I've been trying to monitor.
Which part are you referring to? Oh, never mind. I see it.
Oh, in the chat.
I'm glad you asked. When we do dive into it, there is a PDF file or a handout for students to use. Jamie and myself tried to transfer that into Google Docs. Now, when students or anybody is using that PDF on a PC, you are able to type directly into it. However, on the Chromebooks, we're finding out that it's not the same. You can't type into it in the same way. So once we do get to the handout, I'll show you what it looks like and perhaps copying and pasting it onto a Google Doc and using it on that platform.
Yeah, for anybody with a question, Cassandra asked about the book that was used in the past. So some schools that have piloted Second Step for a while had the handouts that you can print out and put them into a book. So we did practice, and you can convert it to a Google Doc and add it to your Google Classroom. However, the settings, when you transfer it to a Google Doc, you do have to adjust it a little bit because the alignment with the Google Doc transferring to the PDF, it's a little bit off, but you are able to adjust it and post it to your Google Classroom if you choose to do that.
Holly just shared some really cool information using the Cami extension in the Chrome store, allowing students to type on the PDF. I had no idea. So thank you for that. Once we do get into the PDF, we'll show you what that looks like. And I'm so glad that we now have that resource.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, so now we're actually diving into it. For 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, this is what all the units look like. And if you notice that the progression of each unit, the conversations and the topics that it covers, they get a lot more rich, as well as the discussions throughout the year. So we're starting out with setting mindset and goals, and then bullying, harassments, and then managing thoughts, emotions, decisions, as well as relationships and social conflict. So really, it gradually increases for those social skills for our kiddos. And it says it's approximately 25 minutes. Again, it depends on how you go through the lesson, and we'll go ahead and provide an example of that. Some people, it takes a little bit longer because they really dive into the discussion, or other teachers have tied novels into it that tie into the theme for that week. All right, and so the SEL lesson structure, Jamie's gonna go ahead and cover this information right over here and take it away.
Okay, so at Sierra, we've been piloting SEL for a couple of years now. And through teaching SEL, we found that it streamlines a lesson when you have an opening for your SEL and then a content in the middle and then some kind of closing at the end. So what we would suggest is either mindfulness, a quick icebreaker, creating a family handshake, something like that. There are some suggestions there. And then after you do that, there's your content, which that is where you can use your second step lesson. It's not the only thing you can use, but it is a resource that's valuable to use in that portion. And really, you can use this structure in any lesson that you do. It could be content as well. And then for your closing, you want to have some kind of either circle topic. You could revisit the family handshake, maybe looking at an inspirational quote or expressing gratitude the way that we did in the beginning. So this is the structure that we followed at Sierra when we designed our SEL, and it's a suggestion for you. Jen, can you go to the next one? Some people have asked, so are we supposed to use second step every day? I would recommend that you use a lesson per week as your theme for the week. This is a suggestion. So what we did at Sierra is we would have a second step lesson on Monday. We also incorporated our expectations within. So I think on one of the days we had our school site expectations, and then we incorporated second step along with that. Tuesday, we had a read aloud that aligned with the theme that goes with second step. Wednesday is bank day, so we would just do mindfulness and circles on that day. And then Thursday, we revisit the read aloud, and Friday, we allowed for some writing that goes along with the theme. So that's a suggestion on how you could implement it within your Google Classroom with your class. But it's just one way of doing things, and it's a baseline so that you have, a starting point.
And in addition to that, we're going to provide the link to the presentation momentarily. And then on top of that, our tech team and SEL team has also created lessons that you can utilize during an SEL slot. So the weeks and the days are planned out for you to have access to. So second step isn't going to be the only thing that you utilize when integrating and embedding SEL. All right, so there has been so much information that we kind of just dumped on all of you. Are there any questions before we dive into the next thing? And again, I'll get some music going.
Yeah, we'll leave it for a moment. And you can unmute yourself or drop them in the chat box, however you're comfortable.
Oh, thanks, Brianna.
I'll put the link to the slides in the chat while.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. I don't feel that we have any questions thus far. Just a quick thumbs up. Are we good to move forward? Awesome. Love it. You guys are awesome. All right, so our mindful practice, Jamie is going to go ahead and walk us through it because she has such a really soothing voice and I aspire to sound like her when I do run a mindful practice. So take it away.
Okay, so the new normal has presented several obstacles, both mentally and physically for everyone. So today's practice is a visualization intended to release some of that stress that we all feel and embrace and work through the challenges that we're going to face as we go into this new school year. So if everybody would begin by sitting comfortably and tall, lengthen your spine towards the sky. See if you can sit just a little bit taller. And then close your eyes or turn your gaze down towards the ground. And on your next inhale, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, roll your shoulders back and down. Rest your hands gently in your lap or on the table in front of you. And begin to focus on your breath. Start to lengthen each inhale and exhale. Visualize all the ways the new normal has brought stress to your life. Now picture yourself drawing or writing about all those stressors. Step back and look at the image or words that you're creating. Picture yourself looking at your creation you made of all those stressors and worries. Visualize yourself picking up the paper and walking towards a swift stream. The water is flowing by quickly. Release your paper into the water. Watch as your stress and worries drift farther and farther away until they're so far in the distance that they disappear in the water. Let go of the visualization and embrace the comfort of release. Take 3 deep breaths as I ring a bell, and open your eyes when you no longer hear it. And I hope you take this feeling of release with you as you embrace challenges that will surely come in the new year. Thank you for participating. Now that everybody's calm, we have a fun activity for you.
Thanks for doing that, Jamie. All right, you guys, so we're gonna go on a 2-minute scavenger hunt and a break. So in those 2 minutes, you are going to find a writing utensil, something to write on, and some school swag. I'm gonna start our timer right now in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, just about one more minute. I figured I could allot a little bit of time for any of us to use the restroom. Woo! And for those of you that did grab some school swag, we're gonna have all of us hold it up. And if you do not mind and you don't want your face on the picture, go ahead and cover your face with your school swag. So we're gonna tweet it. All of our lovely participants in our school swag. All right, let me see if I can multitask. Ah! Stop it. I'm sorry. No. Okay. See. In 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Thanks, you guys. All right, so we did not do that unintentionally because as we dive into the next part of our presentation, we're actually going to do the model lesson. This one right here, it's titled Embracing Challenges using the Second Step program. Now this one specifically is going to be a 7th grade lesson in the very first unit, but I thought it was extremely fitting for what we are doing now. As you guys will see, Second Step is going to be pretty easy to navigate through, but some of the things that I do notice about it sometimes is that it can be a little slow. All right, and I'm almost logged out. That's not good. Bear with me, I'm sorry.
Ian is getting that going. I want to get a screenshot of everybody holding up their school swag. Do you mind holding it up one more time so that I can screenshot the session? Let's see. Oops. There we go. I got it. Thank you.
Cool. All right, so please be nice to me, Second Step. Guess I could get some music going on right now.
This is good, Jen, so they can see what it's like to log in. So it's easy to get it going.
I think that Jeopardy music should be playing right now. I'm gonna go over a little bit more of what these different tabs and sections are. But when I go into my classes, you're gonna be creating your own advisory or not advisory, your own classes and selecting your grade level and so on. So once I click this over here, and it's really neat because each unit we did show you a brief overview of what it is, but as you click on it, it will actually show you the different topics you will be covering within that lesson for that particular unit. So in this case, we're going to be doing embracing challenges, and I ran through it. You know what? Let me back up a minute. Getting ahead of myself. Too excited. Getting to close some tabs. Okay, so you'll notice that it says prep and then it also says start. The prep section is really, really neat because it addresses the themes and the objectives. And this is the part where Cassandra was talking about the student handout. So now that we do have an application for our students to type on the PDF, this is what it will look like. So some teachers, they do like to use the handout when teaching a second step lesson, whereas some teachers don't. I'm one of those teachers that like to run through the lesson without using the handout, but I like it because it also includes the vocabulary and then really gets them to jot down their thoughts on it. So I do highly recommend reviewing the lesson before teaching the lesson. And I mean, which is what we do anyway. And then it also provides you with a lesson plan, learning tips, and then the extensions of the lesson is really neat, which I'll dive into after we run through this one right here. So, and if I'm going too fast, because I know I talk really quickly, feel free to let me know. All right, so a person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Why can it be scary to try new things, and what's scary about making mistakes? I want you guys to think about that question for a little bit before we dive into this lesson, and feel free to share your responses in the chat. I know for me, it can be scary to try new things because I don't like to fail. The unknown is extremely scary, but you'll never know if you never try. It does. Sometimes that vulnerable part can be a little paralyzing. Scared to fail and not meet expectations, yeah. Failure and judgment, totally agree. If you fail, people will know you aren't perfect. In other words, people will know we are human. It can be a little embarrassing, or extremely, depending on what it is. I totally agree, Yorenda. We look weak sometimes when we do fail. Failing my students during virtual learning. Mattia, I feel like other people are in the same boat as you.
I think a lot of us feel that way. And like you've said, Jen, this is uncharted territory, and we're all learning. We're all doing the best that we can. And as long as we're putting that best foot forward and trying our best, I think that our students will see that. At least I hope. And sometimes all we have is hope and our best effort, and that's okay.
True. Oh, and the cool thing about it too, it gives you the objectives, and this is something you could pop up before diving into the lesson. So what students will need and the purpose of the actual lesson, because I mean, we're all going to have those students, why are we doing this? Well, this is why. So now we provided that rationale for our students, and trying something challenging can be positive. So let's go ahead and move on to the next portion of this lesson.
Cassandra said it really well too, that we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace along with our students, you know, because we're all learning and growing from this experience. So that's really well said. Thank you, Cassandra.
All right.
So the scariest thing about making mistakes is what other people would think about you. There's a lot of people there that are going to see you do it, or they're either going to judge you for it.
And some people are even ridiculed because they made that mistake. So I think that's the scariest thing about making mistakes.
Being judged or laughed at because people do that.
You don't want people to.
Oh no. Grace. A little bit of grace. Come on, Betty.
Click pause and then rewind it just a little bit. See if that helps.
Oh no. Oh.
Scariest thing about making mistakes.
Being judged or laughed at because people do that.
You don't want people to think of you in a different light than you've already carved out for yourself.
I don't know what will happen after I make those mistakes, because my parents are really strict, and I know getting maybe like a C on a test isn't the happiest thing.
The scariest thing about making mistakes is having to fix them and like own up to them.
Mistake I made that was like kind of like scary was messing up in class when I was asked to answer a question, and it was like in front of a lot of people I knew that was in that one class, and answering the question wrong was kind of like really big mistake, kind of like scary, like embarrassing type mistake.
Uh-oh. Oh no, it's frozen. No. I don't know what happened. Okay, so how can the fear of making a mistake prevent someone from trying something new or challenging? Am I frozen? No? Okay. I don't know why my mouse isn't working for me. So what we're going to do in this section right here is we're going to go ahead and put you into breakout rooms. I'm going to launch this question in your breakout room. So give me 1 second. Why does it not want to work?
Jen, would
Jamie,
you like to set up the rooms?
Yes.
You got it.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. At this point, we need some participation with sharing what your discussions were like. So are there a couple people that can share what you discussed in your groups? Feel free to unmute yourself.
All right, I'll share first.
Thank you, Marcia.
No worries. Hold on there, so you guys can see me talking as well. So basically, we just said that a lot of people, and including our adults, don't they don't want to be labeled as, oh, they're dumb, or they don't know what they're talking about. I told them, even as adults in my classroom, I own up to mistakes. If I caught myself, I will go back and I will even tell the kids that I've made a mistake, or sometimes they'll catch me and I say, oh, that's perfect. I'm human. I try to connect with them, then let them know that adults aren't perfect. We all make mistakes. And I always try to do the model of the fail forward and what that acronym means. And I really instill that, try to think of myself, okay, Danette, you have to do, it's fail forward. We're learning, we have to fail to become better. We're constantly learning as we go. So we talked a lot about that.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. The fail forward, first attempt in learning, right? And sometimes we need a couple of attempts before we get it. So, and showing our students and being transparent about the fact that we're learning too, and being able to say, look, I messed up that time, my bad, let's try again. I think that's really powerful in the classroom. So thank you for sharing that, Maitia. Anybody else that would add to that idea?
Well, I think that's what we basically discussed in our group. It was the idea that without failing, are you really, really stepping out of your comfort zone? And, we all have our comfort zone, and our students, we do as people, we're talking, even as adults, when we're presenting in front of our peers, we're still very nervous. We don't want to appear unknowledgeable and whatever. And our students, they're afraid too. And so I always am clear that, we say it's safe. It's safe in here to make a mistake. We can all learn from it. And so it's just a matter of being able to step out of that comfort zone. And again, if you do something incorrectly, it's like, hey, this is a great opportunity. Let's find out, why is it wrong? Why is it a different answer? Or maybe it's just a different way to approach the answer. But it's just a matter of, for me personally, and then for many students that I've encountered, is just getting out of that comfort zone.
Absolutely. As we all are out of our comfort zones right now. In this new virtual environment, it's something new for all of us. So well said. Thank you, Robert. Somebody in the chat box, I think Sharon, yes, Sharon asked, as a host, can you monitor all the breakout rooms? So you cannot see everything that's happening in the breakout room. However, you're able to jump in to any of the groups that are open. And you're able to see what's going on in each group. So, but you have to pop in and out of each of the groups to monitor that. Good question. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, I see. Ben answered it too. Thank you, Ben.
Mr. Haywood, I was in his breakout session and he's with Cato. Do you want to go ahead and share what we discussed in ours?
Well, I was just mentioning that we have used it for the last 3 years at Cato. And at the end of the year, I was always curious whether or not I have 8th graders, and I was always curious on whether or not they found this to be helpful or not. So I would poll them at the end of the year, and overwhelmingly, the kids liked it. They found it to be very positive, and you could see at various times throughout the year that they were putting some of these things into practice, and they were actually, stopping and thinking before they acted and reacted and stuff like that. So they were getting the topics, they were thinking ahead of time they were getting the good out of it, and it was very positive, and I'm glad that we still use it.
Thank you. I thought that was really neat, hearing how it's being utilized on different campuses. Now, our next part is, what's something new that you'd like to do or learn but are afraid to try? Or what makes you nervous about trying? Jamie, because I know we're starting to run short on time. What I'm gonna have you do is go ahead and type your response in the chat to this question while I go into the second video. So again, what's something new that you'd like to do or learn but are afraid to try, and what makes you nervous about trying?
While people are typing in their responses, is it Mr. Haywood? Is that who?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that I'm glad you shared that, because with SEL, a lot of times the lessons that we implement and the conversations that we have, it doesn't happen overnight. And some of those lessons need to settle in, and the students need to practice them multiple times. And sometimes it takes the whole year before you see progress in one area. But the hope is that you see a little bit of progress, and we try to focus on that and keep going with SEL, because there's so much power in that progress. So thank you, Mr. Haywood, for sharing that.
And here we go.
Challenges are, they really work your brain, and they help you overcome obstacles, and they help you find new ways on how to work on something.
Currently, I'm learning the guitar, and it's hard. It's not easy, but I really like it.
I like challenges a lot because it makes me think that I'm getting smarter and doing better as I progress through middle school. One challenge that I had was actually beginning of middle school, because I had to miss the first couple of days of school, and it was really challenging to meet those people that were already creating friend groups and try and like join with them and become friends with other people, since I missed the beginning part of the year.
One thing I'm doing that is challenging myself is trying to join a group at my school called the Leadership Council. And basically, when I'm in 7th grade and 8th grade, we will be like the leaders for the 6th graders.
Right now, I'm doing a robotics group, and it's quite challenging since we're just high school and middle schools and we're facing college kids, and it's quite hard for us. That pushes us to do better.
I really enjoy challenges. I feel like if I'm not feeling challenged in one way or another, I'm pretty bored.
What I like about challenges is it pushes you to extents that you never knew you had. So like a challenge that I went through was a sport that I played. And so I never thought I could do it, but when my coaches, they pushed me hard, they challenged me.
And what I like about these videos is that it does mention real voices. So it's actual students using this program, and none of it in any ways that's scripted and providing that. So as they were talking about challenges and what they like, what are some challenging activities we like, and what are some type of challenging activities we dislike? I don't like to do anything that requires running for prolonged periods. I know we have a couple of people in here who are avid runners, and more power to you, but my knees just don't like it. Jamie, what's a challenging activity you like?
I actually like running. I think my favorite challenging activity is practicing yoga. That's my favorite one. But I really enjoy running, and lately I've been challenging myself extra by running uphill. So I live in an area where it's a lot of steep incline and decline around here. So I've been challenging myself extra since the gyms have been
close.
Mr. Alejandro Castro, what is a challenging activity you like or dislike?
I'm going to say or type it.
You're unmuted. Go for it.
I'm afraid to learn how to dance. I don't have no rhythm.
You got 2 left feet.
Yeah,
I
but
find that hard to believe.
I don't know. I'm too old. We'll see what happens.
You're never too old.
Put the music back on. Maybe maybe the vibe will go.
Let's integrate that in this lesson. Ben, what's something you like or dislike?
Okay, so I really enjoy challenging video games. I don't know how familiar anybody is, but there's games that are called like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that, and those are supposed to be like super challenging video games, and those are like my favorites. As far as what types of challenges do I not like, I'm totally in the PATE camp, and running is no good for me. Not a fan. Walking, yes, I will walk all day long. But I would rather not run.
I am right there with you. I'm going to go ahead and choose one more person. Giselle Ramos, type of challenging activity do you like or dislike?
Well, I like hiking, but I can't really do it because of health problems. So I wish I could do more extreme hiking like some of my friends do, but I can't.
Love it. Thank you. Let's see. Somebody went ahead and talked about going to the bluffs. Started doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I mean, there's certain trails on there that are extremely steep, and I feel like I am going to die. Like my head is going to explode, die. But at the very end, it feels rewarding, even though I feel so out of shape afterwards. All right, so the pencil and writing utensil that you grabbed is not gonna go without you. So you are going to have 15 seconds to carefully look at this illustration. I'm going to start our timer. Please make sure you have your pen, writing utensil, and paper ready. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so now, this is where it gets fun. You now have 30 seconds to draw the illustration you just saw with your eyes closed. Now, some of us have our screens off, but I'll know. All right, 30 seconds, I'm gonna start it now. Close your eyes. I see you, Lo. We got about 10 more seconds, y'all. Oh, that's awesome. For those of you that have your screens on and participated in this activity, Jamie, do you mind getting a screenshot of everybody holding theirs out on this first try? Or you know what? I'll take the picture. All right, everybody hold up your photos. I'm gonna take it in 3, 2, 1. Let me see if there's more people on the next screen. Got a couple more. All right, let me take one more photo in 3, 2, 1. That is so awesome. It was cool to see the look on your faces once that timer was up, and that was funny. All right, so now we kind of did it, but compare your drawing to the one below. Are there mistakes in your drawing? And how do you feel about those mistakes? Some of us were kind of laughing at ourselves, but it's totally okay. All right, so now for this last part, take another look at your drawing. You have 45 seconds to add or change the mistakes in your drawing to create something new. Over here, here's an example of what they did, and when adding something new, they totally transformed it into something else. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start our timer for 45 seconds and begin. All right, you guys, so time's up. Let's go ahead and hold up any challenge or changes that we made in embracing this challenge and this mistake. All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll over to my next screen. Let's have you guys hold it up one more time. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you, that's cool. Those are really neat. I like how some of us completely transformed our initial illustration, our blind illustration. All right. So creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. To make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. So when doing this activity, how did it feel to practice embracing the mistake in your drawing? Were you happy with the results? Why or why not? And what would you do differently next time? We could do this one of two ways. And I feel like we're doing a lot of work in the chat, but a lot of you have some great feedback. So go ahead and provide your response in the chat. And I did this whenever I was practicing last night. So I transformed it into a face. Oh, I'm glad you thought so, Yorinda. So this is one, I mean, even though it's a 7th grade lesson, I do like to use it for my 8th graders. I added a few lines and then realized I could turn it upside. Ooh, thinking outside the box. I like that. Drawings were almost the same with eyes open. Okay, because I feel safe. I was okay with mistakes. I wanted my drawing to be better than the others. Yeah. Did better than you. Yeah. So it's like embracing that challenge, and we're kind of amazed at what we can do. Find the positive in them. Yes. What it was supposed to be to something that it could be. Yeah. I like how a lot of us are changing and embracing this challenge and like approaching it in a new way, as opposed to being fearful of it. It was okay embracing my mistake. I was happy with it. Next time I'm gonna peek. Yeah. Transform. This is awesome. I love it. So with that, it was easy to embrace mistake because I had an excuse, then I like being able to improve. Yeah, it's giving our students that growth mindset and the opportunity to fix their mistakes and growing and adjusting from it. So why is it good to, this right here is a prompt that they're going to write, but we are running a little short on time. So this is something that I would follow up the next day. And in this case, why is it good to make mistakes when you're doing something challenging? And then they're gonna write a short paragraph, share your responses with the class as time allows. Well, in this case, time isn't allowing. So if we were to revisit, we would revisit tomorrow. So I wanna thank you all for participating in that drawing activity. It's one of my favorites, especially as we're diving into, again, uncharted territory, but it's really neat. And okay, so this is the part where I was talking about. We have different tabs up here and then your units and so on. Right here in the extend part, you have, oh, please work. Advisory activities, and I know there's a lot of talk about asynchronous and synchronous activities that you can utilize in your classroom. And these activities provides lessons for both platforms. So launching a new assignment or a lesson into Google Classroom and having students respond to it as they see fit. And then there's also class challenges, the meetings, and then service learning projects is also really cool in order to give back to the community. But what I do like about this over here is it gives you an entire bank of resources that go on, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Bank of resources that you can refer to have your class complete, and there's 81 activities total. So just to give you a little overview of what one of them may look like. So coping strategies for stress, and one thing I do find is that a lot of our students do get a little stressed out before any type of assessment or even speaking in front of the class. So being able to utilize this before doing those tasks. So the activity, many things can cause you to feel stressed or frustrated. Being aware of what those things are and what you can do to handle stress can help you when it happens. So then being proactive and becoming more self-aware with those stress triggers. And then it gives you the steps and everything you need to do with them. And again, this is something that they can do independently for them to reflect on their own in Google Classroom. And then the closing piece for the assignment. So again, there's going to be a bank of resources that you can access when using it. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop back into our presentation. And now we have been talking about second step quite a bit. And right now the district is working on getting licenses for the other campuses that are not Cato, Washington, Sierra, Shipman, and I think that's it. So for those of you that are on a different campus, oh, and Compton, you will be receiving access come mid-August. And we will be reaching out to you once that license is purchased, and you will want to check your spam mail because for whatever reason, second step emails go straight into your spam. And then if you do not get any access, you can reach out to Amy Hampton at hamptona@bcsd.com for additional support. And then you can also contact myself or Jamie for additional support as well. So even though we wanted to provide you guys with an overview of what it looks like, and then once you do gain access, please reach out to any of us as needed. So that was second. Go ahead.
Real quick, can you go back to that slide? So we were able to share a few things on how to click through the program, but I know that there's a lot more that people are probably wanting to know and how to access and what to click on. So what I did was I created a Google Doc, and that page right there it's clickable. It's a link. And I only did login for now, but I will be adding to it to show you how to set up your classes and all of that. So that's in the works. I just wanted to let you know that that is a link right there, and it's a resource to help you with setting up your account in second step.
Thanks, Jamie. All right, so this is going to be additional information that the SEL team has been putting together in entering the virtual learning platform.
Okay, so in speaking about resources, I will preface by saying I'm not an expert about all these resources. I'm still in the process of absorbing all of them, but we're going to review them so that you know what's available to you as a tool as you start planning for your virtual classroom. So this first one is regarding a committee of teachers that put together some behaviors that we need to keep in mind as we start this new year. And if you click on that form, Jen, can you click on it, please? It has 3 different resources there that are related to the different grade levels. As it thinks about it. So I want to say it's in grade bands like K through 2nd. Oh, 1st through 5th, 6th through 12th, and then pre-K to kinder. And they're the warning signs that something may be going on with students that you're encountering. So these are resources that you can refer to. Will you click on the 6th through 12th since we're in the middle school? So you may start to notice some of these behaviors. And at the time that you do, you may want to reach out to your behavior intervention specialist or possibly refer to your MTSS team, whatever that process is at your campus. So these are some things to keep in mind as we start your virtual classrooms.
And then in addition to that, there is also a resource for staff wellness at the same time, because I know many of us are feeling a little anxious as we approach this year. And then I'm just being aware of this within yourself as well as your colleagues that you have a pretty good relationship with. And then it also provides effective coping strategies for us when doing this. And then also phone numbers to contact if ever you are feeling extremely overwhelmed. So not only supporting our students, but our teammates and staff as well. Was there additional information on this slide, Jamie?
I think when you mentioned about staff members, that covers it. Thank you, Jen.
All right, so social emotional learning tool. As Jamie mentioned, I too am not familiar with all the resources. I clicked on it and I browsed through it. But this right here is going to be a tool for our students to create those goals and then ultimately taking those necessary steps in order to reach those goals. And what's cool about Second Step is that there is a segment in the very first unit, and I want to say it's called SMART Goals. And I know some campuses have been doing goal setting with our students in order for them to hold themselves accountable. And then also a student request form if they are showing a sign of distress. So this is something that they can log in, fill out a form, and whatever their concerns may be, it gets pushed out to support staff and administrators, and it is addressed appropriately based on that need. And I know that on our campus, we have found that some students will want to try and change their schedule, but we stress that that is not what it's for, unless it's concerned with another student in the class, and then that's where we pull in a restorative with either our behavior intervention specialists or administrators in order to address that issue proactively in a positive light.
Or the restorative specialist.
Yes, I thought I said that.
I confirmed with Liz that this Kids Cope form, the responses will go to the teacher.
Okay.
So, and from there, once you receive those responses, then you would funnel the student to where you think they need to be supported, like who they needed to be supported by. It could be your BIS, it could be administration, and it could be the restorative specialist too, whoever could support. It might even be you, having a conversation with that student. So I just want to make that clear that the form responses will go to the teacher.
Thank you for addressing it.
Mhm.
I think my computer is really, really hot. So it's gonna be really, really slow. My apologies. All right.
Okay, this is the winner. So this, at first I have to say thank you to our tech team. They have put so much work, and the teachers that have been involved with planning our first quarter, or by quarter now, right? Or semester? Unit. There we go. That's the word. Thank you, Jen. So this website that is clickable on this slide has every lesson that you could need at your disposal. So you have grade level lessons, you have tech guides and tutorials, you have Google Classroom guides that are already set up, you have how-to tutorials for kids. There's the SEL link that has SEL lessons for the whole first quarter. There are Zoom resources on how, so if you're interested in learning about how to do the breakout rooms or how to incorporate, like we did the, what is it called? I just learned how to do it too. The annotations, there are a wealth of resources there at this website. So you're definitely going to want to check that out as you start planning for the beginning of the school year. This is where I would start and stay. And there, if you click on the next one, there's also an SEL website that has been, and this was just put live yesterday. So it's brand new, hot off the presses.
And everything you can possibly imagine is going to be on that website as well as that Google sites. And it's really cool because this right here, it's a resource for everything SEL related in regard to mindfulness practice, circles, and then providing tips and prompts and additional SEL support for you to use to keep students engaged, because once again, diving into this new realm of teaching, we're really going to be educators who entertain in order to keep our students engaged. Jamie, that was totally your side. Do you want to cover this one? Huh?
Go back one slide to the SEL website.
Oh.
So this is in addition to the Google Classroom resources. So if you're wanting to branch out and try something new in regards to SEL, there's a wealth of SEL resources for mindfulness, for circles, for SEL lessons. It's also available on the SEL website, in addition to the one that the district has put out for Google Classroom. So I just wanted to be clear that it's two different websites.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then this part, this tool guide,
Oh yes, Sandra just mentioned that you do have to, it's a forced copy kind of situation. So when you click on it, it's going to ask for you to make a copy of every document. And so just make your own copy and save it to your drive. Thank you, Cassandra.
Okay, and then in the past couple of years, we started using social contracts, and it's something that we're still going to utilize going into the school year, but it's going to be our distance learning contract. And so on this slide, it does provide you with the steps and how to utilize it in your own classroom. And then providing having the students provide their ideas when contributing to it, and then adding their name to it as we would do in person, but on a digital copy. And then for us to review the social contract when in the classroom, and creating that culture of positivity and being able to address everybody in a way that they feel respected, and basically stemming away from that embarrassment and so on. So this is something that we are going to be utilizing going into this school year, just on an entirely different platform.
Another teacher suggested using Padlet for this as an opportunity to get everyone's feedback on what needs to go into the social contract. I personally have not practiced with Padlet, but I hear that's really engaging. So that's one suggestion to use for social contracts.
I love Padlet. I think it's really cool, and the graphics that they provide with it is really neat. All right. Jamie?
Yes. I think this is, well, it's an extension of the SEL resources right here. So there are links here available to you that guide you on how to lead mindfulness. And to be honest, sometimes people are a little uncomfortable with leading it, and I understand. There are resources out there available to you, such as videos on YouTube, and, you know, we're working on the SEL website to create even more resources for our teachers. So this is just further information for you regarding mindfulness and circle activities as you start to plan for not only SEL, but also your content area and how to embed SEL within all of it.
Thank you. And then, all right, you guys, we have finally reached the end. So using our chat box, just answer one question below. My biggest concern when students return to school is, or based on the content shared so far, I still wonder, or I'm happy to hear that. And in just a little bit, as you are responding to this question over here, Jamie, are you going to go ahead and share the link here in about 4 minutes?
Yes, after people provide their responses, what I'll do is I will post the link for the slide deck once again. I'll do that first just to make sure everyone has an opportunity to click on that and make a copy. And then also I will provide the evaluation link first. And in a few minutes after people are finishing that evaluation, I will put the link for the sign out form, which is really important. You need that to get paid. So please wait for that before you exit the session.
We appreciate all of you joining us this morning and participating in the activities and the discussions and so on. Really enjoyed our time with you guys. Do I have any music requests?
Crickets.
All right. Let me get some, I don't know, that sounds cool.
Oh, people are typing in their responses. That's why, Jen.
That's okay. Our participation of my students, okay?
Yeah. The common theme is that teachers are concerned about participation online digitally with students.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're finding the resources valuable.
Yes, Katie, I agree. A lot of people have put a lot of work into those resources. So support our staff for sure.
I'll log in and I won't be able to contact them. Share large size. I mean, that's not funny, but sharing a large size bag of hot Cheetos. Yeah, and then for student engagement and participation, hopefully some of the strategies that we've utilized during this session are things that will give you a bit of an idea in how to use those tools in your classrooms.
I think that each campus is learning from what we experienced in the spring too. So we will see support staff really becoming engaged with supporting teachers on getting engagement as well, making sure that students are logging in and have access and all of that. So it'll be a team effort for sure.
Yes.
So be sure to reach out to your support staff if you're noticing certain trends with students that are not showing up, or maybe never have their cameras on, or you're questioning whether they're even engaged in your lesson. Definitely reach out to your support staff.
Be able to captivate their interest virtually. Roxy, I totally agree. Was building the relationships with my kids and getting them to participate. I'm excited for. Very cool, Jennifer Luque. The kids that don't know each other. It will take a little bit longer to get students involved, but to the chat box option, as opposed to them talking, I feel they're going to be a lot more transparent, and then just building upon that in order to build that relationship. Yeah, student engagement. I feel I'm reiterating, but just we're all kind of fearful of that diving into this year. Thank you, everybody, for your responses. I feel we're all in the same boat. Putting out student expectations. Students need to know what they're expected to do. Classroom will be necessary for virtual learning. Yeah. All right, do you want to go ahead and share the presentation one more time and then the ebook? Yes, you're awesome. You are on top of it.
Yes, I was prepping for that.
I feel like you're in my brain.
I got you.
Thanks.
There's the link for the slides, so make sure that you click on that before we end our happy little session here. And then I'm going to add our eval link.
Jose, I'm going to go ahead and add your question to our district parking lot because that's something that I know they are working on. So thank you for asking that. Thanks, Cassandra.
Cassandra. I will say I get really nervous because this is all new for me too, and I'm learning, and so having to be vulnerable in front of a lot of adults. Like yesterday's session, we had 56 people in our session, and then today we have, 46. It's a big group of people, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everyone for participating and treating us with grace.
You guys are all so sweet. Thank you. It was a little nerve-wracking going into this because we too didn't know what to expect, and we were concerned also about engagement from all of you. So, all right, and then that's the eval right there.
That is the eval link. So if you'll start there by filling out the eval, I will post the what do you call it?
Sign out.
The sign out sheet in a few minutes after people get their evals done.
Jamie, actually, I'll just add it after the session to the district parking lot. Or you know what?
I can do that. Yes, I have it open.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Let me see. And what was
Sharon? What's that?
What was the question again about the schedule?
I still wonder how the virtual learning schedule is going to look.
Okay.
Jose Ramirez.
You got it.
And by any chance, are you related to Aaron Langley?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. But I can ask. I'm related to Stephen and Jacqueline. They work for the district.
Oh, no. Oh, thank you, Stacy. You're awesome too. Are we waiting for them to fill out the eval and then push out the sign out?
Yes.
Okay. And you can see account.
Adding our question to the digital parking lot for the district, and then I will post that in just a moment.
Perfect. I am not trying to overwhelm you by any means, so I apologize if I am.
It's all good.
Oh, thanks, Irma. I know you're over at Shipman with Prieto, and I feel like it's something you guys have been using on your campus. You are too wonderful, Felisa. Thank you. Gotcha. Cool.
This song makes me want to get up and dance.
I know there's another, is it Enrique Iglesias that sings a version of this?
Yes, bailando.
Okay.
That means dancing, right?
Yeah. It's always so much info at one time. I have never heard of Second Step, and I really like how it's, yes, yay, good. Awesome. And I love that it was selected by the teacher advisory committee and just launching it from there. Because I know that our elementary schools, they're using Toolbox, and then at the last minute, SEL decided to give all our middle schools and junior highs access to Second Step. Yes, this music does make me really happy right now. I feel like I should be like on the streets dancing in humid weather, like Havana. Oh, thanks, Beatrice.
As a gesture of gratitude for all of your engagement and compliments, thank you so much. I added the sign out sheet link right there. For some reason it's not clickable, but you should be able to copy and paste that right into Google and get your sign out done. Make sure that you do that so you can get paid. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us and participating. And remember to reach out for support. If you need anything regarding SEL, we are available and here to support you.
Yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and provide my email for you in case you wanna reach out. The music makes me want a margarita.
That too.
Yes.
Okay.
I want a plane ticket to go where Jamie's background is.
Right.
You are very welcome, Roxy. Thank you for participating. It won't let you paste.
Okay, here, I'll try it again. Oh, why is it? Let me see. Okay.
And select all. Let me see. What if it won't let you just press Control C? Oh, it's not.
Okay, I'm copying another link that is the same. It just looks, it's extended. So here you go. There we go.
Yay. All right. Yes. Thank you for being patient with that, you guys.
Yes, that one works. I just clicked on it.
Wonderful. All right, and once you guys have filled out the eval and filled out the sign out sheet, you are free to go. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We really do hope you guys all found value in today's training. And it's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You're so welcome, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie, for posting that link too. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ben. Have a good one. You're welcome, Ms. Westerhout. Take care. Appreciate you again, Carrie. You're so welcome, Adam. Thank you.
You're welcome, Brent. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your trainings.
Woo! Oh no, don't worry about it. We are all in this together, Stacy. You are
We
totally
thank you
fine.
for your patience too.
Have a good day, Miguel. I totally agree. Carrie. Thank you, Casey. Have a good one. Take care, you guys.
Brianna, have a great day.
Bye, Brianna. Daddy. Day and time, was that okay?
Alejandro, on what? On the sign out form? Let me see. I'm gonna click on it.
Take care, Jamie. Yeah, absolutely, Jennifer. Thank you for being on that committee and really combing through the different programs and
What up?
selecting one.
Have a good day. Okay, I'm clicking on the link. Alejandro.
Ladies, I was gonna, have you guys heard anything about, like, for us teachers that have kids, like, what do we have to do?
That's going to be something that we will add to the district parking lot because we don't know the answer to that question.
I'm really glad you said that because I have the same
Okay,
question.
thank you.
I have the same question. I have 3 kids of my own. So I definitely will repeat that question that it was asked by our audience as well. So thank you for saying that because I'd like to know as well.
Yeah, just to prepare for the new school year with that in mind.
Thanks, Carrie.
All right, thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so Alejandro, when you're saying the date, it should be a drop down where you're selecting the 22nd. And then the time is at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. Do you see that option?
On the drop down?
So when you click on the sign out form, towards the lower part of the form, it says it's a drop down box. You click on the arrow and you select 7/22, today's date.
Yes.
You see it?
Yeah.
And then right under that, you do the drop down box for the time and select the one that says 10 to 12.
I did that for both of them already. Do I submit or?
Yes, go ahead and submit that. For sure, because you wanna get paid.
It says thank you for attending Virtual Summer Institute.
Yep, you got it.
I'm okay now?
You're good.
If I have trouble logging into my next meeting at 2 o'clock, I think it is, or 3 o'clock, do I call in the district?
Did you receive a calendar invite?
Yes, but when I was trying to log in, it was asking me for a password, email, and to be honest, I forgot how I logged in.
Okay, so first you want to make sure that you're signed in to your account. So you want to use your district email to sign in. And then go back to your calendar invite and you should see a meeting ID number and a password there.
Okay. So I'm gonna make sure.
Do you know what session it is?
7th grade, I think 3 to 5 o'clock.
7th, what subject?
English.
7th ELA at 2 o'clock, you said?
I think it's 3 to 5.
Oh, 3 to 5, okay. So just to help you out, since we still have a few minutes, find it.
Okay, let me try to log in.
I have a spreadsheet that has all of the links. So let me see. From 3 to 5 and you said, whoa.
I think I should be good now because it says that the meeting should start in a while. when I was trying to log into this meeting, it wasn't saying that. It was saying I had to log in with my email provider and password and some other stuff. So I should be good now.
Okay. Are you 6th or 7th grade?
7th grade.
Okay, so I'm gonna copy this link for you. Here you go. This is the link for your next session for 7th grade ELA today at 3 to 5. Oh.
Oh, I'm going to be in that session today.
Oh, there you go, Jen. See? You need
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was not paying attention. My bad.
Are you participating or facilitating?
Facilitating. So Chris and Theo with Cato will be presenting that content. And you're gonna like all the units and everything that are planned out. It's gonna be extremely useful going into this new quarter. I'll see you there too, Castro. All right, Jamie, how can you save this chat?
It saves in the recording. So once it uploads to the cloud, then you'll get an email that it was saved. And when you go back to it, along the side, it has all of the chat. But I want to say there is an option to save it as well. So let's see, file. You click on file at the lower portion of the chat and then create the name. So 7/22.
All right. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's upload a file.
Thanks, Castro. I'll see you later.
I will see you at 3 o'clock.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, Jamie, I'm gonna go ahead and end our session and then I'll call you right now.
Okay, I don't see an option to save the chat, but I know that it does save it in the recording. I saw that with the session that we did yesterday, so we should be good.
All right, cool. Sounds good. All right. And I am, let me
Just to
see.
double check, hang on, Jen. Kathy, do you have any questions before we exit the session? Okay, that was a 10-second waiting period, so we're good.
All right, let me end this and then I'm just gonna go ahead and restart it.
Okay.